Nicola Sturgeon has written to Prime Minister Boris Johnson to demand a Brexit extension. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon and Welsh First Minister Mark Drakeford have called for an extension to the Brexit transition period during the coronavirus crisis in a meddling letter to Prime Minister Boris Johnson. They said a Brexit no deal would be extraordinarily reckless. The pair said fundamental issues still remain between the UK and EU negotiators after the most recent round of talks on a deal. They wrote, "While we hope that the second half of this year will see the beginnings of a recovery, we believe that exiting the transition period at the end of the year would be extraordinarily reckless. It would pile a further very significant economic and social shock on top of the COVID-19 crisis, hitting businesses whose reserves, in many cases, have already been exhausted, leading to more business closures and redundancies. But in this case, the shock would be avoidable. We therefore call on you to take the final opportunity the next few weeks provide to ask for an extension to the transition period in order to provide a breathing space to complete the negotiations, to implement the outcome, and the opportunity for our businesses to find their feet after the enormous disruption of recent months." At the time the withdrawal agreement was signed, no one could have imagined the enormous economic dislocation which the COVID-19 pandemic has caused, in Wales, Scotland, the whole of the UK, in the EU and across the world. The letter claimed that, at best, there would only be a bare-bones trade deal in place by December, or a move to a no-deal exit from the EU, but Ms Sturgeon will be left red-faced after the EU today confirmed Mr Johnson has made it clear he will not ask for an extension to the post-Brexit transition period. Michel Barnier tweeted, "The EU has always been open to an extension of the transition period. At today's joint committee, we took note of UK's decision not to extend. We must now make progress on substance. To give every chance to the negotiations, we agreed to intensify talks in the next weeks and months." The Scottish Government has repeatedly called for the transition period to be extended beyond the December 31 deadline, but that can only be done if a request is made before the end of this month.